why would our people, why would they hide the reality that our people are really Mesoamerican? Why are they trying to constantly steer us toward being African-American, especially in the last 2 to 3 years? I'm going to say in the last 5 years, they've really been pushing the African thing really hard on our people. You notice that? They was pushing the whole African thing with the Black Panthers coming out, the Wakanda Forever, and all this other stuff. But what they didn't tell you was Black Panther, the whole idea of Black Panther and all that, that's based on Mesoamerica because, again, Black Panthers, which are nothing but leopards, black leopards, or Black Panthers, are native to America. They're native to America. They're not native to Africa. Okay? In fact, in a lot of wall depictions, you see images of the Black Panther on walls in Mesoamerican culture. All this is being revealed right now. All this is being revealed. Everybody is stopping short of just aligning ourselves and just straight up saying that we Mesoamerican and not African-American, that we are the real Americans there. Everybody's stopping short of that. I noticed that. Everybody's stopping short of saying that. They don't want it to be known that our people are the true people, the first Americans here. And if we are the first Americans here, we're the only Americans here. That's like, and how you, again, I'm going to say this again, being that we are the first Americans here, we are really the only Americans here. We are American, or Mesoamerican, I should say, by culture, by heritage. We are Mesoamerican by culture and by heritage. Okay? That's like what Caucasians will claim Italy. They will claim Italy and say Italy is for Italians, right? Because they are the people there. Now, if I go and live in Italy or I go live in Sicily, I'm not going to be considered Italian or Sicilian now, am I? Right? It's the people that are the natives to that land, even though nobody's native to any of the lands but us. But let's just let them have Italy. Now, if a so-called black man or Asian man go there, he can't say he's Italian. He's just going to be an Asian or a so-called black man living in Italy. Same thing if you go live in Japan or China. You ain't going to be Japanese or Chinese. You just going to be a Japanese or China, a so-called other race of people living in Japan or China. So that don't make you who you are by nationality. Okay? That don't make you who you know. That don't make you anything, by your nationality. You see? You see? That don't make you who you are. All right? Your nationality dictates who's the first people in that land. So the only real Americans here are so-called black people, bronze people. We are the only real Americans here because we were the first people here. Everybody after us are visitors or guests here. You see, the white man he was really big on telling our people, go back to Africa, you ain't from here, this ain't your land, black man, and all this other nonsense. Right? This is what they told our people. And we in a state of blackness, we believe their foolishness. We believe we came over on cargo slave ships from Africa where they never tell you where at in Africa, but they believe that. To this day, so-called black people still believe. They still believe their skin is black. We already know they're going through serious head trauma. Our people are going through serious memory loss. And whatever we didn't forget, the so-called white man tried to make sure he beat it out of our people, threatened it out of our people by trying to force us on the census to call ourselves African Americans and Negroes, black. They forced that on our people. Remember I told you before, the big thing, we resisted the whole black thing back in the day. Our people was referring to themselves as sepia or copper tone people. We didn't call ourselves black. It wasn't until the white man was trying to force it on us, and then they got these Negroes to come force that black thing on us through Al Sharpton, well, not through Al, but through Jesse Jackson, through Eldridge Cleaver, and the rest of the Black Panthers. They was with this whole we black business. That whole black ideology really spread in universities and colleges where so-called black people was going. That's where that whole black ideology spread at. And you already had the Caucasians behind it, the Caucasian Zionists behind it, pushing that whole black ideology to our people, lying to our people, doing basically pulling a psychological trick on our people, playing psychological games on our people, getting them to believe that their skin is black. When you look in you look in your skin, and you obviously you're not black. Your skin is not black, but nobody questions that it takes it any further. That has put a whole lot of separation and hostility between our people, because what was we going around saying? Oh, you ain't dark skinned, you ain't black enough, you light skinned, all that nonsense. Who light skinned, who the light skinned, dark skinned, all that nonsense. But then when you look at them walls in Mesoamerica, when you look back at those walls, you see light skinned bronze people, dark skinned bronze people, reddish bronze, all kinds of complexions of bronze skinned people. And this is before the so-called white man even came over here. So miss me with all that nonsense about, oh, the reason why you got different shades of so-called black people or bronze people is because they mixed with the other races of people. That's a damn lie, man. That's a lie. We always came in different shades and complexions. The same way the humans come in different shades and complexions. We came in different shades and complexions first. And the mass majority of all these features you see, from slanted eyes, right, to big eyes, to big lips, to thin lips, to broad noses, to more of a pointier nose and more aquiline. Those are all our features, man. We range in those different complexions and those different features. But they want to lie and say, oh, you know, those features come from Caucasian people. Well, Caucasian people come from us. So who originally got the looks first? Who originally owns these features first? They come from us. The only thing that differentiates them from us and them is they got the animal genetic in them. We don't. That's the only thing that differentiates it. That's why they got that fur hair, like the animal hair, the fur. That's why they get fleas and ticks in their hair, because, like I said, they got the animal genetic in them, and they admitted that. That's the only thing that differentiates us from them, and that's a big difference. That is a big genetic market difference. That reminds us that we're not supposed to mix our seed with these people. We are the first and original and only Americans here in this society. Y'all do know that. Everybody else came after us. Everybody. From the Mongoloid Indians who crossed over here and mixed in with us, because they were the first and the first ones who came into the society. Some of the first invaders were these Mongoloids that crossed the Bering Strait and mixed their seeds. That's why when they show you the early so-called Indians, you see they got a black and Mongoloid mix to them, a so-called black and Mongoloid Asian mix to them, right? You see they got dark skin, but they got straight hair and slanted eyes. That's from the Mongoloid mix, because our people, you know, our people being coons and sambos and mixing their seed with the Mongoloids and, you know, doing that, going back. You see, not keeping the seed straight. That's the first law that we broke. We mixed our seed with the humans, the Mongoloids. You see, that was the first law we broke. We shouldn't have broke. Okay? By mixing our seed with the Mongoloids. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as we are going forward. Keep that in mind as we are raising ourselves in the image of Amen. All right? As the true Mesoamerican people. As the people who are truly of Amen, the ones who are on this side. See, because it would have did a totally different thing to our psyche if we would have knew we were the real Mesoamericans here, the real Americans. It would have did a whole different thing to our psyche to know that. You see? It would have did a whole different thing if we would have knew that. What would it have done? It would have did a lot for our self-esteem, number one. It would have did a lot for our self-esteem, number one. Okay? We would have stopped with this whole, we African booty scratchers, and we come from tents, and we come from the jungle, and all this other nonsense. We jungle Negroes and stuff like that. But funny thing is, whenever you see in them white documentaries, who the ones going in the jungle? The damn white man. He's always the one going in the jungle. Now, you would think if we was from the jungle, we'd be in a hurry to get back to the jungle. We'd be in a hurry to get on planes and go to Africa and go in the jungle part. We ain't in no hurry to do that. Now, are we? Every time you turn around, he the one going in the damn jungle. He the one want to go around and tribal Africans, that whoever's still tribal there. That's not us going. We want to run to the jungle. You don't see us running to Africa trying to unite with our so-called African family over there. You know why? Because that's not where we from. I was going to do a broadcast. I'm going to give a little bit of a hit. There's a reason why, and I'm going to touch on it more. Why we tend to embrace Native American, so-called Native American culture and ancient Egyptian culture. You notice that with so-called black people here in America? You notice that we tend to embrace ancient Egyptian culture and Native American, so-called Native American, American Indian culture. Why do you think that is? We embrace that much more than we embrace the whole Pan-African thing, the whole red, black, and green thing. You know why we embrace those? Because Mesoamerican culture is a mixture of all those things. That's why. And it's familiar to us. Mesoamerican culture got ancient Kemetic stuff in it because all of the ancient Kemetic stuff came from Mesoamerica first, from Central America. And the Yucatan and whatnot. We built that over here, and all that got spread into Egypt. I said this before, Egypt was the downfall. Egypt was the downfall of the Serpentine society. The rise was here in Central America. That's why, if you notice, all the pyramids over here are much bigger, and in the places of the Yucatan and all that, bigger than in Egypt. And you see the same architecture. That's how you know that's all our people. But yet these Mexicans try to take credit for that. They want to lie. They just like the white man. They're complicit with the so-called white man, the East Indian / Asian-looking Mexicans that they show you today. They are complicit in the lie that our people are not the true Mesoamericans, the real Mesoamericans. Yet we've been putting up video after video, finding video after video, footage after real footage, and actual wall drawings of the people, how they look. They were bronze people. I done found my image 1,000 times, found members of my republic, members of our community over 1,000 times. Found a whole bunch of our pictures. So how they explain that? How the hell they explain that? Somebody got some splaining to do. Somebody got some goddamn splaining to do. You see, it produces a whole nother mindset, a whole nother attitude in the people once you know that this is really your land. Once you know this is really your land, it produces a whole nother mindset in the people. You see? And the white man know that. You know what that would be like? That would be like us going over into England, right? Let's just say we went over to England, or let's just say we went over to Japan or Italy or wherever we went to, a whole other country, and we enslaved those people, and we told them people that we were here first, Japanese, we the real Japanese, and we was here first, and we brought you over here from China on slave ships, right? And they didn't know the history of these people being the Japanese over there. They didn't know that. And let's just say, so what are they always going to think? They're always going to think they foreigners, they immigrants, that they were forced over. This is not really their land. But then what's going to happen when they find out, yeah, this really is your land, and that we basically took your land and we basically put you in captivity? What they going to say? They're going to fight hard. They're going to go hard. They're not going to have that slave mentality that you need people to have in order to have a ruling class mindset over the people like the beast do. They're not going to have that. They're going to challenge you for your authority. They're going to challenge you. You see? They're going to challenge you. They be looking to take it back, exactly. You see? Now, think about that when it comes to so-called black people. What if all them slaves on the plantation know, hey, you know what? America is really our country, and none of these white people belong here. None of these white people belong here. None of these Mongoloid Indians belong here. You see, none of these people they bringing over here. Like, notice white man right now, he's flooding America. The government's flooding America with all these immigrants. Notice they flooding America with all these immigrants. They bringing over all these Mexicans. They bringing over all these damn Afghans. They bringing over these damn Arabs, you know, other species of human, and they're going to make them American. Meanwhile, they're still displacing you and calling you black people in your country. They basically sidelined you and told you Negroes and you African American. You came from Africa someplace. We don't know where you came from. We don't care about sending you back. We don't care about putting you niggas is just in America and whatever. Good luck. Now, why are they so hard on our people? Why are they so hard and why are they so hell-bent on putting hell on our people? The focus is always putting racism against our people, lynching our people, killing our people, right? Misleading and lying to our people, jabbing our people. Why is that? That whole mindset of hatred and the want to exterminate our people. Why is that? Why is it want and the desire for the beast, the so-called white man, to exterminate our people? Why do they have that in them? Answer, because they know that we are the true natives of this land. They know that, and they want to keep the African thing alive because they always got something to hold over our head, because physically and genetically they got nothing to hold over our head. In fact, they feel lesser and lower than us when it comes to the physicalities and the genetic material. They know our genetic material is dominant. right? They said it themselves. Our genetic material is dominant. They know one drop of our blood changes the whole genetic material of a lot of people. So they know our genetic bloodline is powerful. They also know who the true Mesoamericans is. And how you know the white man know, because why does he hide that history? Why does he hide that history? See, he can't really hide the history because other people amongst the humans have recorded the history. The Mexicans, they got it in their museum. There's a book out called the images, I forget what it's called, the unexplained or the unseen or the unexpected images. I'll get the name for it in the break. The unexpected images in early America, ancient America, right? The unexplained or the surprising images in ancient America. In other words, it was this white man. Since y'all love, you need the white man to prove, to basically give, validation. This white historian, archaeologist, whatever he is, he wrote this book called the Surprising Images or something like that in ancient America. Do you know that book is almost like $500 or $600 to get? That book is $500 or $600. Why do you think it costs so much? Why don't they reprint that book? You can't even get the book used for under $400. And I've seen beat-up versions of it. You know why? Because there's a lot of pictures in there of our people. And they don't want our people seeing that. But I'm going to go ahead and buy the book. I'm going to go ahead and spend the money just to keep it in my library because there's so many pictures in there. This brother, he makes this, he does this site where he basically breaking down the whole Mesoamerican thing. And I agree with certain things they say. But the only thing they lose me on is when they start with this American Indian nonsense. We need to cut out all this American Indian nonsense and stop with this black Indian nonsense. You see, I know so our people got that coon energy on them, that Negro black energy on them, and it's hard to get it off of you. You've been brain stained with the idea that you're black people. I know it's hard. So anytime you come in contact with some heritage or some culture that's really our heritage and culture, first thing you niggas want to do is start talking about y'all the black this and you the black that and you the black this, therefore giving legitimacy to other races of people to claim our heritage. When you calling yourself the black Indians or anything black, you giving a license to the Mongoloid Indians to say they the real Indians. You see, stop with this black nonsense. That's why I said we ain't saying no we black Mesoamerican. No, we not no black Mesoamericans. We are the Mesoamericans, the only Mesoamericans of bronze descent. But we don't have to use color no more. You see, you don't see the Italians saying, oh, we the white Italians. You don't see the Spanish saying, we the white Spaniards. You don't see the Asian going, we the yellow Asians. You see, you don't see them doing that. They just say what their culture is, and that's it. We're going to be the same way. We the Mesoamericans, period. We got a Mesoamerican language and Mesoamerican names and culture and heritage going forward, coming out, going forward. It's time to drop this whole African-American nonsense. It's time to drop this whole African-American nonsense. It's time we stop trying to be the bastard children of Africa. Because that's really what we've been playing ourselves and portraying ourselves as the bastard children of Africa. We are nobody's bastard children. We are nobody's bastard children. We don't have to sit up here and try to cop somebody else's heritage and try to act like somebody else's heritage is out. Because you know how the white man is. You have a picture of a bronze man standing right in your damn face, and they'll tell you it's somebody else. Oh, see, they ain't really black. See, they're not really so-called black people. They're really, they were just doing. They'll make up anything. That's how they depicted themselves back then. It doesn't mean they were black. They'll say stuff like that. But then if it was a white man on the wall, yeah, see, this is how they actually look. Here they go, right here. In other words, only acceptable when it's them on the wall. When it's any image of bronze people, oh, they don't really look like that. Oh, they ain't really, they really not so-called black people. Oh, see, that's just how they was depicting themselves. And it got like that because it looked like that because the wall and the images they was using was dark. That's why it looked like that. All kind of excuses. Okay, then what about the different shades of people they showing up there, the different shades of so-called black people? Oh, see,
That's not really black people. See, what happened was, you know, it got some excuse. You see, expect to hear that at the museum. That's why, like I said, I'm not really. I want to go to a museum where, like, say, the Mexico Museum, where they're going to show you all the real stuff. You see, where they're going to show you the real stuff. That's the museum I would want to go to if I'm going to go any place. I would want to go outside this country, because this country, they have a reason to lie. They have a reason to mislead the people. And the Caucasian Mexicans too. They all complicit in the lie. You see, they'll put the stuff in the museum. They'll put a lot of stuff in the museum. They preserve the stuff. But surprisingly, in the UK, they got the ancient Mesoamerican images and things up there in the UK. I want to go to the London Museum. You see, you got to ask yourself, why did London denote or dedicate a whole section to the Mesoamerican people in the London Museum? Why did they do that? Because the Mesoamericans, when they were coming over, because when the white man was coming over here, that's who they saw here. They saw so-called black people here. They saw so-called black people here in this country when they came here. That's why they bring a whole image up of so-called black people on the walls and things like that. They bring up their images everywhere because they know that our people are the first ones here. They know that we are the first ones here. They know that we were the first ones to set up civilizations and society here. That they already know. They can't let you know that, though. They can't let you know that, though, because then it messes up your slave mentality that they're trying to plant in your mind. See, pride, once you know what your heritage is, once you are in touch with your true heritage and you know who you are, see, it's hard to shut you down after that. It's hard to shut you down after that. Okay? It's hard to shut you down once you know who you truly are. Once you know what your heritage is, it's hard to shut you down. It's hard to shut you up. It's hard to get you to go back to being Negroes, black people, and African Americans. Once we know about the Mesoamerican heritage and all the pyramids our people built over here, forget looking at Egypt, forget looking at Africa. Once we know about the heritage we have over here and the things we built over here, we ain't looking back at no goddamn Africa no more. We ain't looking back at Africa. We ain't looking at other people's culture. We ain't sitting up here no more wishing we was Italians, black Italians, wishing we was black Asians, wishing we was black Indians or black anything. We ain't sitting up here worrying about that no more. We don't give a damn about that no more. Okay? We don't care about that. And see, they don't want us to be like that. They want us to want us to keep being black people. They want us to keep hoping and wishing we could be somebody else other than what we are. You see, because that does something to your psyche. That does something to you mentally. That keeps the slave mentality going. But when you know, okay, we built the pyramids over here. We was the first government in this society. Mesoamerica was South America, North America, Central America, all the places, all that was Mesoamerica. See, once you know all of that reality, not no made-up history, not no made-up heritage, reality, no lies like the white man tell, then that does something to you. That puts you in a mindset of rulership, of leadership. Okay? That puts you in the mindset of rulership, of leadership. And then you're starting to think to yourself, okay, well, I'm not going to have this Uncle Tom mentality no more, or this Aunt Jemima mentality no more. I'm not going to sit up here and be worshiping the image of white people. Our women might not want to walk around, put a damn blonde wig on their head no more. They might embrace their corn rolls and their woolly hair that they saw their ancient Mesoamerican ancestors wearing. Remember I put up all those pictures? You see? Remember I put up all those pictures just to show you? Pictures to show you who and what we are as a race, as a constant and continuous race of people. That's why those images were put up. You see, most of the reason why people suffer in this society, they suffer because they want to be like everybody else. They don't know who they are. That's why they suffer. That's why they go through what they go through in the society. Okay?
We are finding out who we are as a people. We are aligning ourselves to who we are as a people. We are raising ourselves in alignment to who we are as a people, a real people. And a lot of people don't like that. You know, the white man, whenever you think highly of yourself, first thing he's doing, he's calling you an uppity nigger. So imagine how many uppity niggas would be walking around here in America thinking highly of themselves once you know that you're the real Mesoamerican people, you're the real Americans, the only real Native Americans here before everybody. What would that do to your mindset, your mentality, your psyche? It would make you think more of yourself. It will make you think more of your heritage. You'll be proud to call yourselves Mesoamericans and not African Americans. You'll be proud to say, you know what, we got a language coming. We got a community coming. We got our own names coming. We're going to have our own everything coming. You'll be proud to say that. You ain't got no pride now. You so-called black people don't have no pride. And the white man like it that way. He liked that you a bunch of groveling Negroes. He liked that your black females want to be bed wenches for other races of men and look up to other races of men because they don't know what their true heritage is. They don't value who they are because their history, their heritage has been so devalued once they made you into black people that y'all don't have any y'all got very low self-esteem, if any. You see, and you want to be like everybody else. You want to take everybody else's culture. When you got everybody standing here coming to this land because of you. And I said this before, and I'll say it again, the only reason people came into America because our people was here. We got America moving. We got America popping. That's the only reason people came into this society, because of us, not because of nobody else. Nobody else was doing anything here but us. We got, like I said, thousands and thousands of years of farming and agriculture and architecture and artwork, all kinds of things of a real society, a real cosmopolitan, or as the white man says, an artesian society. That's his way of saying an upscale society. That's what we brought here. That's what we brought here. We brought the trade here. We traveled from here all around the world. We did all of this first. And the white man is doing nothing but copying us. You see, the so-called Native Americans, when you see them walking around with feathers in their hair and they talk about their Native American culture, all that's copied from Mesoamerica. All of that is copied from Mesoamerica. And it really blows my mind when these so-called Native American historians, they're not going to tell you that all that so-called Native American or American Indian heritage is nothing but rip-offs from the ancient Mesoamericans, from the Aztec to the Inca to the Mayan to the Olmec. That's all rip-offs. You can see our people wearing the feathers in their hair going back thousands of years before the Mongoloid Indians crossed the Bering Straits and came over here and mixed in with our people and adopted our heritage and our culture. Those people don't have no heritage and culture. You handing over, they trying to get you to hand over your Mesoamerican heritage to a bunch of Mexicans or a bunch of Mongoloid Indians. Anything but you. Anything but you. They sent these niggas out here to tear down this, when our people was trying to sit up here and say, you know, remember our people sit up here saying how we got Native American heritage. We kept on with it. I got Indian in my family. I got Indian in my family. You know, the so-called, a lot of these Pan-Africanist people that they put out here, they sent them out here to tear that down immediately. When you start seeing Ancestry.com or with that nonsense this guy Skip Gates was running, telling our people, oh, see, you really from Africa. You have zero Native American heritage in you. So what does that mean? What does that mean? You're calling Native Americans those Mongoloid Indians? You're calling them Native Americans? If you're going to sit up here and say that our people are not Native American, that's fine. That's fine. You can say our people are not Native American. That's fine. You could claim that all day. You can claim that our people are not Native American. You could claim that all day. All right? You could say our people are not American Indians. Excuse me. You're right. We're not American Indians. You see, we're not American Indians. You can claim that all day. No, we don't have no Mongoloid blood in us yet. But let's get it straight. The real Native Americans are the Mesoamericans. That's the real Native Americans.
And the so-called white man, he don't even fix his face to say, oh, the American Indians. He don't lie and say the American Indians are the descendants of the Mesoamericans. Notice he don't say that. So where exactly do these two meet up at? Where exactly do these two meet up at? Where exactly do these two cultures meet up at? The Mexicans are the Mesoamericans, or are the so-called Mongoloid Indians, Asians, the Mesoamericans? Neither one. Neither one. And it's about time we stop trying to look to these people as if they're that. If they are so, they are not. We have to stop looking to these people as that. All right? We have to start looking at these people as that. All right? We have to know who we are. We have to know who we are as the Mesoamerican. That's why I said we claiming it. And those of our people, like I said, we doing it in the right way. That's why I started the International Mesoamerican Community. For our people all over America, South America, North America, all over the world, really, international, because they're Mesoamericans on the all over the planet. You see, they're Mesoamericans all over the planet, and we have to start accepting it as so. We have to start accepting it as so. Right. Know that. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind continuously. All right? Keep that in mind continuously. As we are going forward as the Mesoamerican people, we have a true heritage and whatnot. We have a true, history where we come from. It makes it a lot easier to know where we're going. Again, we value each other's lives if we had real culture, if we had real heritage. And like I said, the beasts don't want us to value each other's lives. They like when people are killing each other in the hood, disrespecting each other, acting like animals and savages in the hood. They like that. They know that type of behavior comes when there's no culture. There's no kinship. There's no brotherhood. There's no sisterhood. There's no commonality. You just another nigga that live next door to me. You just another black person. You some nigga that live next door to me. But if you say, okay, that's my Mesoamerican brother, that's my Mesoamerican sister, we Mesoamerican, we are the real, then that takes on a different aura. It takes on a different mindset. It takes on a different mind frame. You see, a different mind frame is taken on when we start to think like that. You see, when you're dealing with being an African American or a Negro, when you got that mindset, that mentality, you get to see things as what they really are and what they're really not. You get to see things as what they really are and what they're really not. We have to be mindful of what things are not and what things are. We have to be mindful. We don't have time anymore to sit up here and have people sitting up here telling us who and what we are and who and what we are not. You see, we already know who we are now. We don't need the white man's validation. He let too much out. You see, he already let too much out. You see, he already let too much out. We don't really need his museums. Like I said, the only thing I really wanted to see, and I am going to see that, is the pyramids in Mexico, Central America, and things like that, which are much bigger than the pyramids in Egypt. That's the only thing I want to see. I'm good after that. I don't need to see nothing else. I don't need to see nothing else. I'm good after that. And we, like I said, to have people trying to relive certain things, we don't need to relive nothing. We don't need to relive nothing. We have something much greater to go forward into. We have something much greater. We have something more powerful to denote and be in alignment with. And that's our Mesoamerican culture, our Mesoamerican heritage. That's what we have. We have that in the strongest and the most focused way as a people. See, because nobody had to tell us
anything. We're not letting nobody tell us nothing no more. We know too much. And that's what the beast didn't want. He didn't want us to know. See, we know too much now. We know too much. We know way too much, and they don't like the fact that we know who and what we are. They don't like that. That's an issue. You see, and where there's an issue, the beast wants to try and, make things disappear, make things fall out of alignment, try to, basically cause chaos and confusion amongst our people, lie to our people, give fake heritage to our people, raise doubt in our people, tell our people that we don't need to know our true heritage. We don't need to know who we truly are as a people going forward. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Like I said, now that you have your children up here and you're trying to, really get them to know who they are, you're trying to get them to embrace and love themselves and whatnot, this is the best way to do it. This is the only way to do it. There's nothing else that our people are going to embrace now other than this. You'll see how our people start to embrace their Mesoamerican heritage over the African culture, over the African heritage. Like I said, they'll embrace that more because that's who they are. They'll embrace that more because that's who they are. We're not a race of jungle savages. We are not here to be a race of jungle savages. We didn't come here to be a race of people who are after the order of the Caucasian. We came here for something way more greater. And we are discovering ourselves even more as a race of people, as the Mesoamerican people. We're going to have a lot of pushback, I told you, especially from the African Americans. We're going to have a lot of pushback. I told you these African Americans are going to be complicit in hiding our Mesoamerican heritage because we got a lot of African Americans amongst us. You see, those who bought into the black thing, I told you that. We got to be mindful of them. You see. And that's another reason why, again, I started the International Mesoamerican community to bring our people together so that we wouldn't have to, be our bronze Mesoamerican selves, our copper-colored selves, who we truly are, the essence of who we are as Mesoamerican, and we don't have to be going back and forth with the so-called Negroes who still want to be African-American, who want to be black people. We don't got to go back and forth with them, okay? We don't need to go back and forth with them. We already know the reality of who we are. We already know the reality of who we are and what we are as a race. All right? We already know who and what they are. You see? And we have to stop letting people tell us who we are. We have to stop having people tell us who we are. We have to be defined by us and only us. And this is happening right now. On YouTube right now, here it is, my Mesoamerican channel 1 on YouTube, which I want everybody to subscribe to. I want everybody to subscribe to that channel. I want those in the Mesoamerican community to post these on your walls. Post these broadcasts on your walls. Post the broadcasts, share them with friends and whatnot. Let them know about our Mesoamerican heritage, and now we're coming together to take back our Mesoamerican heritage so that we can go forward in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen. We're taking our heritage back in order for us to take it forward. You see, we got to get out of that mindset. We got to get out of that mindset. We have to be free to be who we are. And especially in this day and time with the beast basically reconfiguring our people. Because that's what they're doing right now. They're reconfiguring our people. They're making everything from LGBT to, whatever that, you black females are liberated, everything. Why is all this coming right now? And then they're going to have it push the African thing again. Why? Ask yourself the question, why are they so strong in pushing the African thing on our people? Because they don't want the true Americans to wake up. And that's the Mesoamericans. They don't want the true Americans, the real Americans, to wake up, the Mesoamericans. I'm going to need our people to stand up in the name of our Mesoamerican heritage in the name of Amun. We need our people to stand up right now. The true ones are our people. We're not talking about you so-called black people who are still brain-stained. Stay where you are. Stay amongst the rest of the African Americans, the ones who want to be gangbangers, drug dealers, thugs, niggas. You know, you ones who want to twerk. No, you stay with the African Americans. You stay amongst the African Americans. We trying to purify this thing. The only way we're going to purify ourselves, purify our image, is to not have you amongst us. That's the only way we're going to do that. So I'm very much in favor of not including everybody in this culture and this race as we go forward. Very much. We don't need everybody with us. Not in this go round. You know, there would be no gangs. There would be no women going around twerking. If we truly knew who we were as a people, we were coming out of the last vestiges of knowing who we were as a people. You know, when slavery came to an end and when our people came into this, you know, when the white man started trying to redefine us as black people. You see, they had to really push the black thing when our people supposedly got free in the society. They had to really push the black thing. They had to push it heavy. And why is that? They pushed it heavy because they knew that our people, now that their heritage was gone, their culture was gone, they had it stripped away from them and told it, you know, you came over here, you know, from Africa somewhere. And that was just, you could tell it was just a makeshift. That was just a makeshift explanation. You know, because at one point, like I said, they didn't even tell our people we came from there. They was just like, you know, they floated the whole African thing around. But most of the time, the beast was basically saying we was born on the plantation, you was born to be a slave, and you went, because they was trying to instill it in our mind that we were born to be slaves, that we were born to serve them, and you know, that's pretty much it. You're born to serve them. You're born as property to them. Your children belong to them. They could do whatever they want to you. This is the madness, the pure madness that permeated the minds of our people. And our people went for this because we didn't know nothing else. We didn't know no better. We didn't know who we were. This is the madness that we went for. We allowed this madness to permeate our minds. We allowed this madness to decide our fate and our destiny in the society. That's what we did. And as a result of that, we suffer today. We suffer today at the very hands of the people who try and call themselves, you know, telling us, you know, about our history, teaching our people. You know, that's why I said this history is hidden from us for a reason. It is hidden from the world for a museum, but for a reason, excuse me. Why don't they call Mesoamerican history American history? Why are we not taught this in school? If we're going to learn history of America, why don't we learn Mesoamerican history? Why does the history start with the white man coming here to America and setting up colonies here? Why does it start here? America is far, far, far more older than that. So they're only going to give you a part of American history. Now, let's think about this for a minute. Why would they conceal all that ancient American history, that ancient Mesoamerican history? Why would they conceal all that? Let me see. Could it be that they're not whites who set those societies up? Could it be that they're not Caucasian? Because I guarantee you, if they were Caucasian and they set up those pyramids and white people had their faces all over, the white man wouldn't let you hear the end of it. If it was the white man that set up those pyramids, built those ancient cities, did all this stuff, if they did that, if it was Caucasians who did that in ancient Mesoamerica, you wouldn't hear the end of it. Matter of fact, if it was so-called the Mongoloid Indians, if it was the Mongoloid Indians who did that, if they did that, you wouldn't hear the end of it. They would be, why don't they ever show you the Mesoamerican culture? Why is the Mesoamerican culture never shown when they show you the Native American museum? They got Native American history museums. You know that, right? But never do I ever hear them claim Mesoamerican. You ever hear the so-called American Indians say they're Mesoamerican? They never use that. Now do that. They never use that. So my question is, why is it that that's not a part of American history? Why is that not a part of American history? You see? You know why? Because that's your history. It's too many images. It's too many images of you on those walls in Mesoamerica. They can't even lie about it. Trust me, they want to lie. They want to lie so bad. They want to make that white people. They want to make it Mexican. They want to make it people with straight hair. They want to make it Asian. They want to make it anything but you. But there's so many of y'all, they can't do that. There's so many niggas on them walls, they can't do that. You see, it's overwhelming. If this is what they show, and this guy is charging $600 to get that book out. You know how many pictures is out there? You know how many pictures is out there? It's too late. They can't put that back in the bag, man. That's too much. No matter how much extensive history. The Mesoamerican history is thousands and thousands and thousands of years old, way much older than American history. American history ain't got shit on Mesoamerican history. The white man only been here a couple of hundred years. He make it sound like he been here putting it down for thousands of years. He only been here for like maybe give it like the 1500s, the 1400s. He came here, right? 1500, 1400. He really came and started coming here. So you talking about what, about 500-600 years? That's no time. Anything under 1,000 years is no time. We got societies here that have been here for thousands of years, thousands with an S. You know, the Olmecs, the Aztec, the Inca, the Mayans. Oh, those people just disappeared, huh? Those people just disappeared. We don't know where they went. They just vanished. Remember I said that? Wake up your mind. Are they the Mexicans of today, the Asian-looking Mexicans of today? Is that their people? Or did these people vanish? We don't know what happened to them. They will never call the Mesoamerican Museum a black museum. They will never do that because that's too truthful. And then they got to get rid of the whole black thing. They will never let you know that the copper-colored races that they were speaking about was our people. That's too much for them to tell. You see, that causes too much of a wrinkle in their lie. Why isn't Mesoamerican history taught in American history? Why is Mesoamerican history not taught in our classes? If this is not racism, this is not a racist system. If this educational system is not a racist system that's bent on just teaching your children that y'all were slaves, and you came from Africa and you were slaves, and then we decided to let y'all go. So then came civil rights, and now y'all where y'all at today with Oprah Winfrey and them. That's the American history they want on you so-called black people. In other words, they redacted or blacked out your heritage. They redacted and blacked out your Mesoamerican heritage because it just wouldn't work in the system that they were trying to lay down here, which is black and white. The whites are the haves, and the niggas are the so-called niggas. The blacks are the have-nots. That's the system they want to lay down. You can't lay down that system and then talk about these people are the real Americans right here. They're the Mesoamericans. They're the real reason why there's a civilization, this society going over here in this place. They can't do that because then the story don't go right. How is it that these are the first Americans here, the Mesoamericans, and here go their descendants over here falsely being called African American, falsely being called Negro, falsely being called black people? Here go they descendants over here. What about those people over here? Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. You see, they don't want that known because they can't enact the whole system of black and white. They can't enact the system of white supremacy when you know who you are as Mesoamericans, when you know you're the only real Americans here. Everybody else came from someplace else. You are the only real Americans, the only real Mesoamericans by culture, by heritage, by language, everything. The same way the Italians are the Italians, and Italy is their country. This is Mesoamerica, and we are the Mesoamericans, and this is really our country, a part of our country, because it's not just North America, it's South America, all of America is Mesoamerican, all of it, Mexico, everything. This whole continent belongs to us, and they got you niggas talking about y'all want to go live in Japan somewhere, or go live in Africa somewhere. Why you want to uproot and leave your country? You want to uproot and leave your country to go up under a bunch of other racist ass Asians and racist ass Caucasians going someplace else, or some racist ass Africans who don't like you. You want to leave your country. These people got you talking about you want to leave your country because they here. No matter where you go, they're going to be giving you some hell because these are demonic people. These are demonic and mentally disturbed people. So no matter where you go, they're going to follow. Whether you go to the deepest parts of damn Africa, they're going to follow you. Where you niggas going? And they're going to put hell on you because that's just how they are. They demonic, and they hate to see that our people are happy, that we're satisfied, that we are supreme in ourselves, and we don't need them. They hate that. So they're going to try and create them a problem with you. They're going to try and create a problem with you. They'll have a problem with you. You ain't living nowhere around them. They still won't find a problem to have with you. You ain't living nowhere around them. Your very presence is what they hate to see. They hate to see your presence. They hate to see your presence. You see, because they know who you are as a people. I told you before, people hate up. They don't hate down, man. They hate up. They hate up. If our people said right now, like I said, why wouldn't you just go ahead and let our people just go someplace else and just leave? Again, if you're going to have a mass exodus, then, okay, we take all of whatever country, whatever continent is ours, and we stay separate. We don't never have to see each other again. That's the best way to solve racism, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. But he talked about having the government give 5 states over to 5 to 7 states over to bronze people. He mentioned southern states and whatnot. You already know the so-called white man ain't going to do that. He needs his system of black and white to operate here. He needs a system of black and white. He needs us to be the have. He needs him to cast themselves as the haves, and we got to be the have-nots. He needs his system of racism and white supremacy to go here, black and white to go here. He needs that. You see? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Our people have a lot to give, and we've given a lot to society. But when you got jealous, hateful people, because that's all these Caucasians are and all the rest of these humans, they're nothing but a bunch of jealous, envious people who hate on us for the beauty of who we are, the beauty of our skin, the richness of our culture, the richness of our heritage, the richness of everything. When they see that, like I said, they hate that. They hate that. They hate that we are a people full of richness. We are a people full of nature, natural richness, and supremacy. They hate that. So what do they have to do? They have to spend time, constantly convincing you that y'all a bunch of black people, you a bunch of niggas, you came from Africa, we found you swinging in trees, and we just brought you over here, and that's all. That's how it happens. And they can get enough African Americans to agree on that with them. They can get enough paid African Americans to agree on that with them. That's why I said we as the Mesoamerican community, the Mesoamerican society, we have to make sure we separate ourselves from black people, African Americans, these Caucasians, all of them. We have to separate ourselves, mind, body, and soul from these people because they mean us no good. They're all under the same vibration of demonic frequency. They want to bring our people down. They want to sever our connection with our ancestors and thus sever our connection with our ascendants. See, because we're supposed to have an ongoing bloodline connection with our ancestors and with our ascendants. We're supposed to have an ongoing bloodline, an ongoing connection. That's what we're supposed to have. We're supposed to have an ongoing bloodline, an ongoing connection with our ancestors and with our ascendants. I'm not saying we're looking back doing no ancestral worship. No, we ain't got to do all that. We ain't got to look back and try to regurgitate Mesoamerican culture. No. We take it in modern day forms and we just moving forward with it. That's it. We take it in modern day form and we moving forward with it. Okay? We have to keep that in mind. Don't let nobody no one try to destroy our heritage and destroy our history. You see? Let no one try to destroy our heritage and our history. Right? We got to keep that in mind. Because if we do not, we're going to be lost out here. We're going to be lost. We're going to be lost as a people. We're going to be lost as a people with no heritage, no true society, nothing. Like basically what you're seeing right now. Everything you see so-called black people suffering from in society is because we have no heritage, we have no culture. That's why. We have no heritage, we have no culture. Until now. See, rediscovering who we were in the past and where we came from, that is just what we needed to go forward, to spring forward. So we ain't got to be looking back no more, wondering no more where we come. No, we ain't got to do that. We keep coming forward. Here it is. I done found images of myself that over thousands of years old on those walls, man. Found my face on those walls. I'm finding my people's faces on those ancient walls. That means something. That means that we will continuously come through no matter what the damn white man or anybody else say. Our bloodline lives on. And now that we know who we are, we really living forward for the next, because we know where we came from and we know where we got to go. We come from greatness, so all we can do is head back or head forward into greatness again. We are to be ashamed of ourselves for the missteps we made here. But like I said, everything is correctable. We can correct ourselves. We can correct our heritage, correct our history by first and foremost no longer listening to the white man when it comes to him telling us who we are not. We ain't letting them tell us that we're not the Mesoamericans. We know too much now. We know too much. The cat is out of the bag, as they say. Okay? The cat is out of the bag. Too much has been revealed. And things are going to continue to be revealed because we're in the time of revelation, like I told you. Because we're in the time of revelation. Too much is being revealed. Too much is being acknowledged. It's powerful. Too much powerful transmission is coming forward to align us to something greater, who we truly are in a state of supremacy. That's what that is. We have a link to our true heritage, our real heritage, our Mesoamerican heritage, and we should embrace it now as we have that chance to. That's, again, why I set the international Mesoamerican community, not to be an ancient society, but a future one, a future, modern-day future one, futuristically. Like I said, we need to start being those people in our country, in our land, being the real people of this country, the real soul of this country, the real soul of this land. It is not the so-called white man. I don't care how much they put that American flag up and pray on it. And talk. They're nothing but a bunch of damn invaders. They're nothing but invaders. Everybody that's here that's not us is invaders. Everybody that came here on slave or airplanes and boats and whatnot to come live over here and suck off the tit of America, they here because of us. They here because of us. We made the tits of America firm and fertile with milk. We did. Nice and big as they are. We made it fertile here. We made it fertile. We made this society fertile. We planted our harvest and our seed here in this society. And we have to start looking at it that way. We have to start seeing it that way as it is. All right? So as we know this reality, as we are taking this reality forward, we have something to align ourselves with going forward into the future, and that is the reality of who we came here to be. Now, as we are going forward, as we recognize who we are as the people of the Mesoamerica, ancient Mesoamerica, those who have heritage and culture, I encourage us to go forward as a community. Now we can finally be a real community again. We don't have to sit around here and get validation from these other races. We don't have to sit around here. You know, y'all sit up here and y'all was trying to be black Italians, black Chinese, black Japanese, black Asian, whatever the hell, you know, black Spanish, whatever. You was trying to be all of these things, not knowing that these people wanted to be the white versions of you. Whenever they calling themselves American, they're basically saying they're the white versions of you. They basically saying they're the white versions of you. Whenever the white man or any of these other people is here calling themselves American, they really saying they're the white version of you, because you do know the word American comes from the ancient Mayan language. It does not come from Amerigo Vespucci. I'm going to keep making sure I say that. And I want to share some of those, this brother's videos. He talks about Mesoamerica a lot. He has some pretty good videos on that, you see. So our people are waking up, but you notice everybody always stops short of referring to themselves as Mesoamerican. Why is that? Why is everybody, they'll use things like foundational Black Americans or Black Indians or Native Americans. They'll use everything other ancient Americans. They'll use everything short of Mesoamerican. Why won't they do that? See, because none of those things that, you know, even when Black people are finding out that they are connected to that ancient Mesoamerican heritage, they finding out slowly that we had a fast one pulled on us. Black people are so screwed up that from being Black, they're so screwed up mentally that they will bypass the Mesoamerican thing and still hang on to things that really do not denote culture, do not denote us as a race or a nationality. You will keep doing that. Stop talking about what land we need to go to and what land we need. We in our own land. We are in our own land. We got a bunch of foreign invaders in our land. We have foreign invaders who have been occupying our land for well over 500 to 600 years now. We have foreign invaders here. Instead of us not being friendly, and instead of us not being, you know, instead of us doing what we were supposed to do when foreign invaders invade your land, because I'm pretty sure if other people come from someplace else now and kind of invade this land, try to take over America, the white man and everybody else will be up in arms and whatnot, which is what we should have did when these Caucasians got off the boats. We should have been up in arms. We shouldn't have been welcoming them and all this other nonsense. I told you that. We shouldn't have been welcoming. And I'm pretty sure you had a lot of our people who was like, let's just go and kill them off and get rid of them like they would have did our people. But you had a coon class, obviously. You had a coon class even amongst our ancient Mesoamerican brothers and sisters, I'm sorry to say. You had a coon class that allowed these Caucasians and these Asians to come up here on this land of America, our Mesoamerican territory. We allowed them to come in amongst us. And now we still paying for it. We still paying for it today. You see? We still paying for that today. And a lot of y'all say, oh, well, you know, that two wrongs don't make a right. No. You're right. It shouldn't be two wrongs. It should only be one right. It shouldn't be two wrongs. It should only be one right, making things right. You see? And like I said, a lot of so-called Black people, they're not fit today to be Mesoamerican anyway. They got too much of a coon spirit on them. Black people have been unfortunately made Black, meaning they got a coon spirit on them. See? Right? Exactly. These niggas so backwards, they be trying to call themselves African Mesoamericans. These niggas will try to do that. That's how simple-minded they are. That whole Black African thing is so ingrained in their head. Them niggas don't watch Roots too much. They've been programmed too much to believe them lies that Alex Haley told. They've been programmed too much. They don't seen too much damn Roots. Right? They don't seen too much 12 Years a Slave. They don't read too many slave novels and things like that. They don't read. They put all that stuff in our minds of our people just so that we don't think beyond that. They put all this stuff. Here it is. It took me damn near getting up into my late 40s, going into my 50s to find out about our Mesoamerican heritage. I always knew certain bits and parts of it, but I was always focused on the future part of it. And so the Amen put it on me to put some focus on that ancient part because we need to know the full story of that as we are going forward. So the Amen put it on me because at one point in time it wasn't important for me to know much about the Mesoamerican heritage. I was like, whatever, this ain't dealing with the future. You know, we going forward as Mentalians, the Republic of Intellect. And Amen we trust. I'm not looking back. I'm not looking back at nothing. But it obviously became important for a reason. The Amen put it on me to say, look back and know the whole account of our presence here in the society, that we were the first presence here in the society. Know the full account, the full history, the full heritage of our people here in ancient Mesoamerica as the first Americans, the real Americans, the Mesoamericans. Now there's no black people. Take the black off. Take the black blinders off. Take off the African American BS label. Take off that. Get rid of the whole out of Africa theory, because y'all do know that's nothing but a theory. That whole out of Africa nonsense. That's from the white man that people like Umar Johnson them believe in. You see, Mr. Big Time Pan-Africanist. They ain't all these Pan-Africanists, pro-African, we from Africa, all life started in Africa. Well, you know, all that's predicated on nothing but some philosophy from a white man. That's all that is. That's that whole out of Africa theory. I forgot what the name of that guy is who said that. His name is I know he's a Caucasian Jew. You see, Zionist Caucasian Jew. I know Boa or something like that. I forget what his name was. It was him and another guy in the 1800s that came with that whole out of Africa theory. You see, all life started in Africa. Why? Because you said so? Because you said so? That's basically what they're saying. No proof of that. That whole out of Africa theory is just that, a theory from the white man. You see? And he's off, because ever since then there have been societies found much older. Hell, Mesoamerica is proof positive as the most ancient of societies on the planet. Africa's not up as no ancient society for a reason. None of Africa. The Middle East, right? America. You see, those are the ancient societies. Those are the ancient societies. You know. So they want to pull us out of the ancient world. They want to pull us out of our ancient society. And they want to pull us into their modern day world. They want to pull us into their modern day world. They want us messed up with them. They want us to inherit their sickness, their mental illness. They want us to believe that we just came over here to serve them. You got a lot of niggas that believe that. The ones who think it's their job and their duty to be good black Americans. You know, you niggas actually call yourself, and when you're not calling yourself African Americans, you're calling yourself black Americans. What is a black American? Oh, you a blacked out American? You a blacked out American? White man cut off the meso part and just put black Americans. You black. You see, you already got a black mark on you. You already been redacted from history. I told you that's what black means, that they basically blacked out your history. You've been redacted. You've been, omitted from history. You've been omitted. Your contributions, your heritage, your culture has been omitted. They basically put a black mark through it. Now, how you know, though, that the Mesoamericans are those people? Because you don't hear the white man talking about it. Why doesn't he talk about Mesoamerican history? That's a part of American history. Why does he not talk about that? Mesoamerican history is much greater, much richer than damn American history. American history is just full of lies and BS. A little short thing of lies and BS, and how the government might care about that. We done heard that all before. There's nothing, the Louisiana Purchase and this, that. Man, come on, man. No goddamn Louisiana. Bro, man, they trying to make the white man seem like he was a businessman and he was honorable and he was purchasing land and setting up. No, he was a scumbag who stole land from people, forced people off their land, basically at gunpoint killed people and took their land, took their property, man. That's what they did to establish what's called America today and an American government. They forced people off their land. They took their land. They killed people. They poisoned people. They put diseases on people to get this land. This is what they did to get the land. This is the reality of it. People don't want to hear the reality. They want to hear bullshit like, oh, the white man spent $24 for Manhattan, and it was in Louisiana, like the white man was buying up land. Like he was just buying. It was just a great bargain, so it was a land grab. Nah, man. No. That's a nice way to clean it up. That's a nice way to clean it up. But they can't get around slavery, though. They can't get around slavery. They can't get around why they don't talk about the ancient Mesoamerican societies. See, because we represent a conquered people to them. We represent a conquered people. We had our land taken, and we had our freedom taken. So therefore, we represent a conquered people in this society. We represent a conquered people, a people who have been disgraced. a people who have been disrespected, a people who have been condemned, a people who have been pushed aside, had their heritage stripped from them, their Mesoamerican heritage, and then called black people to add insult to injury, to call us black people, people of darkness, people of ignorance, of nothingness, no light, absent of light, redacted from history. Tell me what the so-called African-American man and African-American woman history is. Tell me what their history is. Tell me what the so-called black man and so-called black woman, tell me what their history is. And I'm not talking about, the things I told you. I'm talking about according to the white man. What is black history? What is black history according to the white man? Y'all already know what it is. It ain't got nothing. In black history, from the white man, how he basically views our people. History is the real history of the Mesoamericans. They ain't got nothing to do with your people. They got nothing to do with you. They got nothing to do with you. Y'all just was basically hanging out in trees and running around half naked with loincloths on, studying Islam, and then we just came and took y'all away and we took control of you, and that's it. This is the lie they want to tell. And you got a lot of black people, like I said, who want to back up this lie. Because black people have become, people who they become the embracers of poverty, the embraces of downtroddenness, because a lot of times black people use that downtrodden, broken, downtrodden, we were slaves out here mentality, because they usually want to beg the white man for something. They want to beg him for some reparations or make him feel guilty to give you a damn job with some affirmative action on it. They make you feel guilty. So a lot of these Negroes don't want to give up their, guilt trip on the so-called white man for slavery and everything else. They don't want to give that up. He don't want you to really give it up neither. Because the alternative is, we're not slaves here. We Mesoamerican. We going forward with our culture. See, that's what he would hate the most. That's what he would hate the most. For our people to actually find out who they are, in spite of him to go forward, in spite of him with who they are, to align themselves with who they really are. That would drive him up the wall. That would cause him to lose his mind. And we have to be always on time mentally. We have to always be on time mentally. We must be a force that's reckoned with through time and through our heritage that we put down, the impression we made on earth as those chosen people, as the elect. See, if we're not dealing with that, we're not dealing with nothing. If we ain't dealing with that, we ain't dealing with nothing. Pride, as they say, comes before the fall, but heritage comes before everything. Heritage is ahead of everything because there's an ongoing and continuous bloodline that will continue going forward.